So delighted to be here with all of you, especially with my amazing colleagues. Welcome to our first Impact webinar of 2024. We have so much to celebrate with you today about the impact we created together in 2023. We each know that none of this work happens without the community, the collaboration, the way that we each bring and show up with our unique abilities and talents and contributions. So we're so glad you're here. And with no further ado, I'd like to first give you just a bit of an agenda of how we're going to how we're going to talk through this Impact webinar. And then I'm going to introduce you to the amazing Lynne and Derek. So we'll do some introductions. And then after that, we're going to share with you, again, just highlights. What were our strategic priorities and how did we achieve them in 2023? We'll take what Lynne likes to call victory laps and share with you the success that we experienced in 2023. And then we're going to talk about 2024, what's on the horizon and what are we prioritizing in the year ahead. We will absolutely honor the commitments we make to you, and I think like last year, probably exceed them in 2024. And then at the end, there will be an opportunity for Q&A. You can submit questions anytime during this Impact webinar, and we'll answer them at the end when we finish catching you up on all the things I just mentioned. But without further ado, I want to share with you two people I really adore and who lend their incredible strength and talents to Working Wardrobes. First, to my right, Lynne Wands. Lynne is a retired 35-year career professional in every kind of logistic and management operation you could imagine. But she lends these skills to Working Wardrobes as the real focus point of helping us get more efficient, to maximize our contracts, to make sure our operations are as efficient and effective as possible. So glad you're here with us, Lynne.
I couldn't be happier. It is actually my honor to be a part. It's a privilege to be a part of this journey, and actually a dream come true to be able to transfer those skills that I gained in that 35-year career to a mission that is so worthy. And like I like to say, I came for the tour and I stayed for the mission. So I'm just happy to be here. Thank you, Bonnie.
Thanks for joining us for the tour. And to your right is Derek Benson, who is somewhat similarly, Lynne, came for a tour, came for the mission. Derek actually started his career with Working Wardrobes as a volunteer, and not too long after became the chair of our board of directors, and not too long after the fire joined us as our chief people officer. He today serves us as our chief people and operations officer, and he too is, I would say, you know what, Derek, I don't know how many years you've been in the business, but it's probably more than all of us have been alive.
Probably.
What is it, Derek? Like 25 years? Easy.
24.
Okay, well, we're all only 23, so let's turn it. All right, well, let's get it started. Let's first talk about 2023 and the incredible success that we created over the course of the year. One of our goals, one of our three goals, was to explore the future of Working Wardrobes. And I am delighted to share with you that one of the ways that we did that, and we asked you for your input, and you shared with us, how can we update our mission statement? In what ways can we share what we are doing? Why are we doing this work? And over the course of this year, we successfully completed that work. Our new mission statement is that we help people overcome barriers to gainful employment. So proud of this mission, and we know that gainful employment is, and I'll go into that a little bit more in a minute, but gainful employment is really the ultimate goal that we are reaching for. You know, last year we also updated our values, and we really took a look at ourselves and said, how is it that you are a part of Working Wardrobes and there's something special and different about all of the ways that each of us individually contributes? What is that special something? And we identified that we approach, every single person that's a part of Working Wardrobes approaches what we do with integrity. We have structural integrity, but we also are doing the right thing when no one's looking. That we have grit, that we will persevere, we will overcome, we will get it done. That we are humble achievers, that we don't take credit as individuals, we share the credit collectively, and we achieve, we get done the work that we are looking to achieve. And last, that we are thoughtful relators. Relationships are at the core of everything that we do, and we take extra care to be thoughtful and mindful about the way we relate with each other. Last year, we reached over 5,500 people, but like I said, we never do the work alone. We partnered with over 185 other programs and service providers. That is an amazing efficiency for a person who loves efficiency and creating it. It is an incredible efficiency. Also, a celebration of strength. We are each always invited to bring our unique contributions to the world. And I think other agencies and nonprofits that we partner with do that too. Let me tell you a little bit more about gainful employment and why that's so important. At Working Wardrobes, gainful employment is our aim, and we are aiming there because we know that a steady paycheck is something you can count on in a safe environment. Not only is allowing you to contribute, but is giving you the opportunity to thrive, not survive. Gainful employment is defined here in this slide with you have a variety of duties, that you're positively engaged, that you're satisfied and happy, that you derive a purpose from the work that you're doing. All of these components of gainful employment are what we are seeking for the clients that we serve. In fact, on the next slide, you're going to see how many individuals we reached and in what way we reached them. I think that stories and numbers have to go hand in hand. So what I'm wanting to illustrate for you on this next slide is exactly how and who did we impact. There's a huge amount of outreach we do, and that outreach can look a lot of different ways. It can look like being at a job fair and helping someone get a resume tune up. It can be being at a resource fair and having a conversation about preparing for that mock interview question, probably the one that you're avoiding the most, right? Sometimes it's explaining that gap in employment. Sometimes it's explaining how it is that you're mapping those skills you got in the military into a civilian occupation. So those outreach efforts make a big difference. There's a touch happening, but it's also we do not like hearing this. We don't like hearing, I never knew about this service, or if I had only known, I would have come to Working Wardrobes. That's why outreach is so important. For the remaining people on this slide that we're talking about, we're sharing with you what was the sort of demographic that they had in common. And what you're seeing here is a huge rise in comparison from 2022 to 2023, a huge rise in our young adult service population. This number kind of blows me away because it's not so obvious, but when you peel back the onion layers a bit, you start to think about the economy and the way things have changed in the workforce today. It is not such a presumption anymore that you will get out of school and go to college, or that you will get out of school and go get a job that is your forever career. Many people are exploring all different kinds of ways to not just maintain their life, but to contribute in the marketplace. We saw this huge pivot really just get exponentially sped up during the pandemic, and it's not changing. We embrace all of these changes in the world and are preparing young adults now with courses like the skills to pay your bills and things that are not just life skills, but really creating opportunity for these young people to be able to flourish. You also see here a large impact, a large increase in the number of people that we reached who were justice involved or justice impacted. You may not know that Working Wardrobes is at probation meetings. We are in jails. We are also on college campuses and on military bases. We are everywhere, not just here in Santa Ana for certain. What I am so excited about most of all out of anything on this slide is that bottom line number, and I want to tell you why. In 2020, we all know we experienced the incredible impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic, but preceding that pandemic, Working Wardrobes had a decimating fire that literally grounded our entire headquarters. From that year, we never stopped serving clients, but we were only in 2020 able to reach a little over 2,000 people. In 2021, we were able to reach 1,000 more, and in 2022, 1,000 more. But prior to the pandemic and prior to the fire, we had been reaching 5,000 people. So what's so exciting to me about this 2023 number is that we are out of the recovery zone and into the growth zone. I feel like that needs like a touchdown.
Right.
Yes, we are definitely in the growth zone. Underemployment issues are what we are seeing, and what we are doing to combat them is getting and really addressing these cost of living rises, the pace with which that has risen has not obviously kept up with compensation. And we are helping people get out of this survival mode where you have 2 and 3 jobs and getting into this thriving zone where you are gainfully employed. We know in Southern California, this problem is just far exacerbated by the high cost of living. So again, gainful employment here is the solution. By working with these young adults and young people who are involved in the justice system at any and every age, we're literally getting these solutions to people sooner rather than later. I'd like to consider it further upstream, if you will. I want to share with you, though, there's a lot of numbers and it's a lot of exciting news to share, but never is it better than when you hear a story. And I want to share even a quote with you from one of our clients that we served this last year. She had been unemployed for a very long time, and she came to Working Wardrobes seeking help, wanting to expand her professional network, but knowing that she needed help updating her resume, getting ready for those interviews. And she was interested in project management, had a lot of skills in this area. So through Working Wardrobes' help, she ultimately and now is employed at Saddleback College in a role that really aligns with her extensive experience in project management. So I want to read this quote to you from our client. Notably, the Working Wardrobes team provided emotional support during my job search, especially when I faced continuous rejections. I realized the potential impact of a project management certification on my job prospects, and I was fortunate to receive that certification and financial assistance for the exam and membership fees I needed to succeed. Through my journey at Working Wardrobes, I discovered the power of sincere support, transforming rejection into resilience and turning challenges into confidence.
Beautiful.
I'm melted
Absolutely
butter.
beautiful, yeah.
Right?
And it's done every day, Bonnie, every day.
Right?
It's wonderful. It's the miracles are created just every day.
It's true, Lynn.
Yep.
It's absolutely true. Well, again, we can't do it alone. It is absolutely a team sport.
Yep.
And one of the ways that we are able to harness the power of individuals to create those kinds of transformations and impacts is through volunteers. Derek, you oversee our entire people and operations. That means you make sure all the resources get to where they need to go so that we can deliver our mission. Would you please share with us some successes, your victory laps from 2023 that have to do with people?
I would love to, but first I'd like to compliment you on your lovely outfit today.
Thank
Those
you.
earrings and that blouse match so nicely. And look at this, Lynn's got a beautiful scarf on.
This is from one of the hangers.
I think we're all wearing something from Working Wardrobes today, so.
That's an everyday occurrence.
Kind of cool.
Thank you, Derek.
All right, so let's talk about people. Let's start with volunteers. The value of volunteers is amazing. We had 2,200 volunteers last year at a total of 27,000 plus volunteer hours. California State values the value of a volunteer per hour is more than $37. And that multiplied by 27,000 is just over $1 million in salary savings. So our volunteers, we love you. You're amazing. And you are what keeps this business floating, keeps us going. So love it. I also want to talk about our people, our employees, our staff. I want to talk about employee retention and goals for 23. Glassdoor is kind of our external branding. It's our employer brand, if you will. Glassdoor and Indeed. In Glassdoor, we have a score of 4.4 out of 5.
Woohoo!
That score has been growing just a little bit each year, and we're at a really good number. As long as we're above 4, I'm super happy. Indeed, 4.1. All right, this is what gets us on these lists. And speaking of lists, we made the LA Times top rated places to work in Southern California in November of last year. So super amazing. We always love to celebrate these things. It makes people excited to be here. It makes people excited to want to apply here, and just keeps us with a nice pipeline of candidates.
It's
I
such
love.
a nice endorsement of the work that we do and the priority that we place on people. And I think, we know what we're doing, but it's so nice to be validated by an organization that has an expertise in this. And not only top rated workplace, not in Orange County, in Southern California. Really proud of that, Derek. And thank you for leading the way. You have made sure that the strategic initiative that we have that we are an employer of choice is a priority, and it shows in the numbers.
Yeah.
Totally.
And I know, coming from for-profit into nonprofit, all of the creative ways that we recognize employees, peer-to-peer recognition, getting together and breaking bread, just amazing different things that we do that, just make coming to work here such a pleasure and a joy.
Yep.
So
Mm.
just well done.
We often refer to our team as a team, like a sports team. And, we're all in this together, and we couldn't do it without each other. I think.
Exactly.
Some of the other things that we've done to kind of create that is we had come up with some zero cost or really inexpensive ways to keep staff here, keep them happy, being on a low budget, being on a nonprofit budget, so that we can spend more on our clients and the services that we provide. So we came up with an alternative work schedule 2 years ago, year and a half ago now. We have a 980 schedule that is super popular. We have a hybrid remote work where we can. So all the positions that can do that, we allow to do that. We're also instituted more feedback more often. We learned in some books that we were reading that that's what the individuals are looking for. They want to hear from us more often, find out where they are to their goals, and are they in line and all that. So we're doing that 4 times a year now.
It's just like you said, and made that comparison with clients. It's the same, that we're on a trajectory of growth and investing in our employees' growth and professional development all the time.
Yep. And then Lynn mentioned Cheers for Peers. That's our peer-to-peer recognition and celebration. We added some wellness days, and then professional development, always adding things in. We're peppering them in once a month or once every other month. We have a speaker or a class or something.
That's been a great combination too, to bring volunteers in, right? People who have an expertise that they're willing to share, and they can come and teach us.
Best.
Yeah.
It really is the best. And then for the first time this last year, we did a volunteer satisfaction survey, which I'm hoping some of our viewers took themselves, and we got some really good scores. I was excited to see overall very satisfied, skills matched 4.5 out of 5. That's 90%. And then most people said that they felt what they were doing was very meaningful and fulfilling. So
I couldn't agree more. I think we all feel that way.
That's amazing. Yeah.
That's awesome. It's so nice to hear that that's how the people who are choosing to give their time freely, their expertise, to feel so good about doing it. Incredible. So how are we getting more efficient? Derek, you really gave homage, if you will, to the incredible value that our volunteers and our employees create. We need systems, we need tools to do, to create that impact. So please share with me a little bit, how are we getting more efficient so that people can do, I love to say this, so that people can do the things that only people can do. Let the, software and the technology help in its way.
Well, I know Derek's going to talk about one of the systems that's been deployed, but first, I just really want to say that I appreciate your leadership and your focus. And really what we've been doing is executing your vision and your dream by deploying these cost-effective systems and mechanisms that really speak to and support longevity and sustainability here. And it's really a legacy of systems and processes that are going to allow us to be sustainable into the very distant future. So
thanks,
exactly.
Lynn. Yeah. It matters a lot, I think, to all of us that we leave a legacy in this life. And I think Working Wardrobes is such a cornerstone of community and such an important part of Orange County, of Southern California. And I think it has the potential to help even more people outside of those boundaries. So thank you for helping us build it, not only to last, but to be able to do that in an efficient way.
Absolutely. And like you said, cost-effective technology that frees our precious change maker resources to do what only humans can do. So,
exactly. So the first system that I want to talk about is Rippling. And this was kind of born out of my frustration with the manual hiring and onboarding process that I went through on my very first day with Working Wardrobes. On my first day, I was handed a stack of paper, probably an inch or an inch and a half thick, and was told, this is your new hire paperwork. fill this out. And then here are these other two new hires that are starting the same day, take care of their paperwork. And I thought, what is all this? And so as I was going through all of it, I said, there's got to be a better way. There's just too much here. It's a waste of paper. And, yeah. So this all kind of goes back to the fire that we had in February of 2020, where we lost everything and everything was paper. Well, they were just redoing, the same paper folders, and it just didn't make sense. So I thought there's got to be a system. So we ran out and we found a system, and fast forward a year and a half later, we found Rippling. We replaced the old payroll system. We got everything automated and integrated. And so we had payroll and HR and some IT and some finance all in one system, totally workflow, and it's amazing. Frees up my time, frees up the hiring manager's time, frees up the new hire, makes a better experience for the new hire, the employee. And that's one of many.
We love the single sign-on. We love that we created an intranet from it. We love that we go to one place to get everything that we need. Derek, your leadership in this area has been truly transformative for the organization. Thank you.
Well
And you
done.
keep building on it too.
Yeah.
Like you keep finding more ways that we can add on, and it's incredible.
Well done.
So Lynn, what have you been working on?
Just a few things. Let me start with one of the first things I did here was deploy Shopify, which is really a more cost-effective and flexible point of sale solution for our retail locations. And I think the headline here is the reason we went with Shopify is it is simple. It's easy. Literally within an hour or two, we can have a volunteer or a new retail person up and running and ringing. Rumor has it, Bonnie, even you're ringing sales. And
It's true. It's true.
One of the other things about this platform is it allowed us the flexibility to be able to scale a number of point of sales. And so no longer is it a cash register tied to brick and mortar. Literally with any device or tablet, we can scale to multiple POSs, which allows us to pop up anywhere, any event, any parking lot sale. And it allows our retail personnel to open up additional points of sale and have faster lines during peak times in our stores.
Exactly. And data. I love being able to see at a moment's notice what's happening.
Absolutely. Better data analytics. A couple of other things is this allowed us to introduce standard pricing and auto-calculated discounts. We used to have literally paper sheets with pricing on it, and folks had to, on sale days, actually manually calculate. You remember those days? So
Derek brought his calculator just in case.
Gone are those days. We implemented a digital loyalty points program, and that replaced the actual physical punch card. As everybody knows, those got left at home or lost or whatever. So now every time you shop, you're earning points. Make sure you sign up.
Yes. Oh, that is, and you'll get to know about the sales first.
Yeah, absolutely. That, along with our SMS texting program, this platform allowed for that. And so instantaneously, you can learn about our different events. You get digital coupons. Be sure to opt in so you can get those communications. One of the other features, and there's so many, I'll leave you with this: digital roundup or cash donation ability right there at the point of sale. So just so many feature-rich things.
I love doing that. I love shopping at the hangar anyways, because I feel like it's like, talk about efficiency. It's good for the environment. It's good for supporting a nonprofit. And of course, if I round up, I got a tax deductible donation if my financial person says so. And then I also obviously look good.
Yes.
But we know that all of this is literally helping people overcome barriers to gainful employment. So it feels really good.
I just want to do a quick shameless plug that, please do continue to donate your gently used clothing. Yes, we need professional wardrobe for our clients, but business casual adults. And as you mentioned, young adults, we're needing young adults clothing. Purses, and even jewelry, and we will repair even your broken jewelry. So please continue to donate.
Yeah, I want to add on to that if you don't mind, Lynn, because I was just talking with our team yesterday, and we really need that gold and silver, even those kinds of donations. Even if you only have one earring left, this is a great place to donate it. Literally every item is not wasted. All genders, all sizes, all seasons. The answer is yes, please bring it clean and on the hangers. And we would gladly give it a new life.
Yep, absolutely. And out of the landfill.
That's yes,
Yep.
exactly. All right, Derek. So that's not, but wait, there's more.
Oh, wait, there's more. So one thing I forgot to add on the first one is that we're adding on, you mentioned doing more with Rippling. We're doing this spend management. So we're going to be automating a lot of the expense reporting. We're going to have online bill pay. We're going to have credit cards that we can manage through the system and expense reports that are all electronic. Super excited about that too.
Me too.
The next system I want to talk about is iAuditor by Safety Culture. This is a system that was brought on to help us with our safety and our protocols, and it's tracking and it's checklists and it's walks, store walks and things like that. It helps us to make sure that we're doing everything that we need to do at the right time. Track certifications, forklift, AED, fire extinguishers. It also tracks our business and auto licenses too. So it's no longer, I'm driving that company vehicle and whoops, I forgot to pay the tag.
Yeah.
And then all the digital records are kept in the cloud. So God forbid anything else happens,
We're fireproof.
we've got everything.
Amazing.
And it can be seen at any time and monitored.
I honestly appreciate the reminders. You and I, you could be in the office late, and it's a nice thing to know that you're going to be reminded to do the inspection before you leave.
Right.
But those preventative maintenance kind of checks and making sure that we're being proactive and on schedule is really helpful. All right. So there's still more though.
There is.
I mean, this is just 1 year. Reminder. This is just 1 year.
It blows my mind that we've gotten this much done in that short of a
Right?
time. But next up, Donor Perfect, which again is a cost-saving, feature-rich donor CRM. I think one of the proudest things about this is we literally took over 13 different data sources. People had lists on backs of, I say from backs of napkins and into the cloud and into the system. So we now have a very feature-rich system that houses all of our constituents, which allows us to make sure that we're stewarding them on a more regular basis, right? And reaching out and making sure we're doing that in a very personal and routine way. It's given us really some robust reporting, and combining that with the constant contact segmented email really allows us to do outreach in a much more personal way. And really what that means is better understanding of what folks are interested in allows us to create and deliver content in communities of interest. So really spearheading a way to give and create communities that interest people and less of what doesn't interest them. We went from manual thank yous and manual receipting processes to automated thank yous and receipting processes, which again frees up our precious resources to do what only humans can do. And it saves on postage. Yeah. Right. So
love that. And counts, I guess, in emissions then too.
It really does. And not to say that all thank yous are automated. We also have a way to keep our thank yous very personalized. Some of you may have been the recipient of the video campaign that we launched over the holidays for thank you video campaigns. And so we're able to do that right off the platform. So many things that we're able to do there. And again, bring all of those disparate pieces of information into one place and run much more effectively. And if I may, I just want to do a quick spoiler alert.
Oh, spoiler alert. What's coming next?
This is coming soon. We are going to be deploying our Casebook Client Services CRM platform. And again, this is replacing multiple different ways that are not as efficient as we'd like them to be, and allowing us, really, our priorities are to improve and make ourselves much more accessible to our clients via an intake portal that they'll have access to, and allowing us to much more effectively capture our impact metrics in what we're doing here. So
what I love about what's coming soon, I love that spoiler alert. What I love about that too, you said it, the efficiency on the reporting, but also on the client experience, that we will both have access and both be able to contribute and see, the journey unfolding. So incredible. All of this is creating the ability for Working Wardrobes to not just get more efficient at what we're already doing, but create the opportunity for us to reach even more people. I shared my delight with last year's numbers, and really we aimed to reach 5,000. We reached over 5,500. And I think that this is just a sign of the times, that there is more need than we are even prepared for. And so the more that we prepare to be able to fill a larger need, the better impact, the larger impact that you will be able to create in the community. Whew, that was a year. I mean, That's just one part of it. It's just my hat off to you for the incredible work that you do every day that has culminated in being able to share these incredible successes. Thank you so much. So let's talk a little bit about the numbers again. I know I get to do the numbers. So you'll see this slide that shares with you what it is that we were able, how it is, I should say, that we were able to fund this mission. What I am extremely proud about is that Working Wardrobes does not charge anything to the clients that we serve. Every client that is receiving our services is not paying for those services. This sort of combination, if you will, on the pie chart is what is making those services offered free. First is in-kind donations, right? That is those clothes that you gently loved and brought to the donation center. And it might not just be you as an individual. It might be that you have a friend or are in the clothing business and you have maybe sent a pallet of clothes. We are so always in desperate need of more clothes. So if you are inspired or have excess or know about maybe a company that has an overstock of some particular items, please send them to Working Wardrobes. So a third almost is from those in-kind donations, and we're also able to turn that into cash that then funds the mission through our retail stores, the Hanger. That number, the retail stores and the donation centers, what you see is about 25% of our revenue comes from. About 30% of our revenue comes from you and corporations. So grants, individual giving. When you are a member of the Rebuilding Careers Coalition and making those monthly contributions or annual contributions, that's funding about a third of our mission. And the last piece, about 15% of our mission, is funded by what we call client services, which is really depicting that we have contracts and memorandums of understanding with other organizations where we're essentially the vendor. That another organization is saying, Working Wardrobes, you have an expertise. We want you to provide that expertise, and this is the dollars that we will give you to do that. Pretty incredible that we have this sort of, multifaceted, diverse portfolio of revenue, and not that it weathers every storm, but certainly it is a little bit more storm-proof. Excuse me. So we have done, I think, a pretty thorough job here of talking about what all happened in 2023. We served more clients than ever. We increased our ability to do so by bringing on and really managing the onboarding and offboarding, the offboarding of old processes and the onboarding of new processes. Yeah, out with the 25 Excel sheet, in with the cloud-based database. And all the ways that we invested in our people and our volunteers and the way that we were actually able to implement this mission. So now let's talk about what's next. That was a lot in 2023. What can you expect in 2024? After such an incredible year, I mean, what else could come? But let's get started. We have these 3 goals for 2024, and that is that we will reach 6,000 clients. That's right, we're upping the ante, another 500 people this year. In order to serve those 6,000, we will need a minimum of $5 million to do so. We could do more, we could serve more with more dollars. So we are stretching ourselves to try to reach back to $6 million. That's right. And our third is to explore our future. And that focus of exploring our future, that goal is really that we are engaging in a process to identify our strategic plan for 2025 and forward. Right now, we are completing the last year of our current strategic plan. And part of exploring the future is this communal process to create the next 3 years of Working Wardrobes. So what are the ways, I should say, that you can get involved? You can contribute to these 3 goals in our mission this year in a lot of different ways. One is through partnerships. I shared with you that we cannot do this work alone. In partnership, we work with other organizations that have different expertise than us. We also work with corporations to not just use, if you will, Working Wardrobes as a team building opportunity, but a way to give back in the community and really share values in a way that is aligned by not only living the mission with us, but celebrating it in the community, that our brand is about community. And this is how we walk that talk with Working Wardrobes. Another way you'll be able to support this is through our spring festival. And near the end of March, we'll be having a first of its kind event, and it'll be very young, family forward, inviting, you and your friends, your grandkids, everyone to come and enjoy a day with us that will ultimately help fund our mission, but will be a very fun day. Imagine kind of carnival style, lots of fun and food, and a great way to spend a Saturday afternoon. Of course, we will have our annual gala. It's one of my favorite events of the year because we shine the light, of course, on our clients, and we have, someone showcased who really exemplifies what it is that we are doing here, and why it's so important that we invest in our fellow humans. This year, instead of 2, we will have 3 Power Up for Success events. These are events where we help about 100 people in one day receive multiple services. So it'll be something like a workshop where they learn a certain skill. We do these 2 of them aboard a military base where they get this sort of training on how do I translate my military occupational specialty into a civilian resume? How do I target employers or even my job search around the skills that I built over this period of time? There'll be some sort of job resource and career fair where you're able to talk with employers directly. And then, of course, we have a career panel where people who have navigated these transitions impart their wisdom and invite questions. And of course, our signature service is provided, which is our wardrobing service and headshots. So once they're in that beautiful success suit, it is memorialized and ready for LinkedIn. We also have, of course, the opportunity for you to partner with Working Wardrobes with employment opportunities. Are you hiring? Let us know. We have qualified candidates to send you. We also always, as Derek mentioned, over $1 million worth of energy and time just by that formula, by almost 3,000 people helping. Please, if you have time and energy to give, we have a job for you. Can be data entry, it can be helping in a retail store, it can be at our donation center, helping quality control and inventory items. There are countless ways. We even talked about providing trainings and being able to share what is unique about you and your abilities to contribute with Working Wardrobes. We always appreciate client referrals. We know that you are in relationship with people who need help, or organizations that need partners who have this expertise. Working Wardrobes is an expert in workforce development, and we are happy to share that expertise with partners. Introduce us. Employee giving and matching is something that is so easy to tap into. If your company offers a match of your donation dollars, will you please make sure to unlock it and get that dollar over here so that it will help someone get all the resources they need to overcome their barriers to gainful employment. If you haven't been on a tour, come for the tour, stay for the mission. I invite you to join me for a tour. I host, what?
We got room at the table.
We have room at the table. Absolutely. This seat's yours. Our tours are held on the 3rd Thursday of every month at 4 p.m. You can RSVP on our website, workingwardrobes.org/tours. And don't come alone, bring a friend. You also might have been on the tour, and I would encourage you, if you haven't been here since July of 2023, you must come see the remodeled Career Success Center. I guess we should add that to the list of 2023 accomplishments. We also remodeled.
Yes.
And last, if you're looking for a way to give back to community, you could bring more people with you by hosting a clothing or a gift card drive. You could host a clothing drive out of your home, out of your office, with friends. And gift card drives, this may not be as obvious, but we have had many stories of clients who received a $10 or $15 gas card, and that was literally the last barrier between them and getting that job. So host a clothing drive, host a gift drive, a clothing drive or a gift card drive. But do what you can. Harness your power to make a difference in community with Working Wardrobes. That was a lot of mouthfuls. I think it is time to hear from you, our incredible listeners. Well, let's get the first question, because I know that you said that they were coming in through while we were talking.
I have a question for Bonnie.
Oh, good.
How does gainful employment affect people beyond the paycheck?
Oh, that's a great question. I think oftentimes about this because gainful employment of course, it's a steady paycheck. That's primary. I'm talking to you, Derek, like you're the one who asked the question. Okay, perfect. Gainful employment is, of course, a steady paycheck, but that means that you have different choices in your life. If you're gainfully employed, that means that your income is exceeding your basic needs, your basic cost of living. That means you have some discretion then, instead of saying, can I afford my medical bill or my utility bill? You can afford both. Instead of wondering, how are you going to buy groceries? You're wondering, which groceries are you going to buy and from where? Gainful employment impacts not just your ability to thrive in, these living arrangements, if you will, and get out of survival and into thriving mode, but it's a huge enhancer to who we are and how we show up in the world. I think often about our clients, and I'm going to show you many times we meet clients who are not making a lot of eye contact, who are sort of bent over and, deflated. And when you are gainfully employed, you are inflated, you are confident, you are seeing your ability to contribute to the world in a whole other way. And I might add, it is such an honor to be with people on these employment journeys. Do you have anything to add?
I mean, the ripple effect. I mean, the way that not only impacts that one individual, but their associates, their family, the community, is just such another big benefit of the program and the mission that we run here.
You're so right, Lynn. It's like you touch one person, but it really impacts their entire network in some way, their family, their neighborhood, the community. And then we have so many clients too who take it to the next step, where it's been such an endeavor to receive this kind of help that they now want to give it. And many times they'll choose a career in nonprofit and helping people, or I even know of clients who have taken classes they've taken from us and are now teaching them to people who also need them. So that was a really great ad. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome.
Do you have another question?
Another question.
Oh, here it comes.
Right. This one is for Lynn.
Okay.
How does shopping at the hangar go to support the mission?
Great
That's a really good question. So clearly, we have enough clothing here to help our clients, right? But we also have clothing because we're fortunate enough to get those donations. Keep donating, please. That every time you shop in one of our hangar stores, the large majority of those proceeds go right back into funding this program and doing all of the miracle creations that Bonnie has spoken about today. So you have the opportunity to shop, and again, keep those clothes out of the landfill, and the proceeds go right back into funding this mission.
I'm thinking about what we just talked about, and it's like you also get to see those transformations at the hangar. You get to see people come in shopping who are like uncertain, and our team of volunteers and staff will work with them and do the personal styling, just like we do with clients in the wardrobe center, until they're standing tall and proud and feeling good in what they're wearing.
Yeah, and I was going to say, one of the other ways that folks that can help and get involved is they can host events at our retail stores.
Yes.
Oh, Lynn, I'm so glad you mentioned that. Will you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah,
a little bit more about
sure.
that?
And one of our board members does this so well, Christine Rogers. I
Yes.
hope she doesn't mind me calling her out on that. But she's had a couple of birthday parties and other special events, and you can host these events right in our retail stores. Invite your friends and family. It's super cool and super fun. And again, all those proceeds going straight back into Working Wardrobes.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm thinking too, if you're in business and you are looking for a team building opportunity, that's a great way to do it, right? Shop with your team. Our outlets have everything for men and women, all sizes, all shapes, all styles, and you have the whole store to yourself. You get to pick the playlist, and
I think we even had a karaoke in there at one point. Yeah, so it's really cool. We keep it. We open it up for just you after hours, and we'll have stylists in there and whatnot. So
thanks for giving me a good idea for my birthday party.
Thrifting is cool.
Of course.
Of course we are. Thrifting's cool. People want to thrift now too.
Yeah.
It's a fun thing to do.
Absolutely.
All right. I think we have
one more question.
Right. Oh, this one's for me. I love what I hear today, but how can I get my employer involved?
Thank you for asking.
That's a good question. So introduce them to us, introduce them to Working Wardrobes. Come attend a tour like we talked. You don't have to stay for 3 hours or 3 years like us. Just come in for an hour, come check it out, introduce us. Host a clothing drive and gift cards. They're all needed by our clients. Super important. CSR days make great team building events. Go in for a few hours. I've got some colleagues that are coming in. They're going to spend a couple hours in the donation center, and they're going to come over here and do a tour, and then they're going to stay and have lunch. Super exciting. Volunteer your time. We've got assorted needs. They're all posted on our portal. We've got a QR code up there on the screen for you. And then hire our clients. It's our ultimate goal is to get our clients to work so that they can, be self-sufficient, and the ripple effect starts.
Yeah, that's right. That's absolutely right. There's so many engagement opportunities to even begin talking about. I think I want to get that QR code up for signing up for our newsletter, because that's really like the on-ramp to this information and being reminded about it. If you take a look here, you can literally scan that QR code and make sure that you're receiving our newsletter. And there's always at the bottom an invitation and a link for the tours. Great way, like you said, Derek, to get involved. Another thing, and I mentioned this in the opposite direction, but we are also hiring. We have some new contracts that are giving us the ability to bring in more resources, and our job postings are there. If you're interested, or someone who's interested in making a very impactful difference in the community through one life at a time, this is a great way to do it. I often think about the incredible opportunity that people who have either retired or who don't need to work but want to give back in a meaningful way, and I'm sitting next to one of them, that this is a great way to do that. Lynne, when you came to Working Wardrobes, you shared that you had a vision after retiring. You want to share it?
No, I mean,
yeah, no. You shared with me that when you retired, you really wanted to give back to nonprofit, and you wanted to do it here in your community.
I did. Yeah. And this is my community and actually my county of origin. And again, it's just a privilege and honor to be on this journey right here. I grew up in Tustin and I live here in Santa Ana. And I told myself pretty much every day on my way to my for-profit work that I would end up in a nonprofit, but never thought that it would be such a good fit. And you just don't know what you have to offer. So please just come on the tour. You're going to stay for the mission. I promise you.
I love it. I love it. Well, in addition to the tour, we have some other events that are coming up, and I want to share these dates with you and make sure that we get to see you there. So next up, I am really excited about this event on Thursday, February 15th. It's early, but that should give you plenty of time to do the rest of your day, I hope. By the way, the place that we're having this at, the Newport Beach Country Club, has the best bacon. So if you're a bacon eater, I highly recommend it. But what I'm really most excited about is not that, even though I might have just, surprised you with that comment. Our guest speaker, Pam Roy, just wrote another book that is called Parenting from the Passenger Seat, an unlikely title, but the message really translates to even our clients and how we navigate from the passenger seat and empower the people we serve. Her message is really one of how community and human connections are what's making the most impact in our world, and how we can each harness our ability to connect and create that kind of impact. And it is very much career and talking really very much about the journey to employment, but not necessarily on a traditional pathway, on maybe a road less traveled, but is getting paved now.
Should you bring that book?
Derek, yes, everyone will leave with a copy of the book, and of course Pam will sign them if you'd like. Yeah,
right. She's
a filmmaker, an investor, a philanthropist, an author. She's amazing. I can't wait for you to meet her and hear her. She's really phenomenal. The next event we have, I mentioned already, is our spring festival. If you're signed up for the newsletter, you will know exactly when it is and where it is. And I think it will be a phenomenal way to spend a weekend day with Working Wardrobes, helping make an impact and having fun while doing it. Our first Power Up for Success event, I shared with you, we're going to be having 3 this year. The first one is going to be in April, and we have to prioritize in some way which volunteers can go on and volunteer with us. This particular event will be held aboard Camp Pendleton, and we prioritize sponsors getting volunteer seats because we always sell out. So I highly encourage you, and especially if you haven't yet, to make your sponsorship known so that we can make sure to reserve spots for you and that volunteer opportunity. It's an incredible moment, a day helping 100 Marines and sailors get workforce ready. It's amazing to give back to those who serve. And we just had we are about to conclude our first impact webinar of the year. So get ready for the next one. It's on Thursday, May 9th, again at 2 p.m. And you will, of course, be the first to know. Well, it has again been my delight. It is always my delight to work with you side by side. It is amazing to get to have this time to reflect and celebrate with you and to share with our community of support how it is that we will impact more lives together in 2024.
Amazing. I need to get to work.
I know.
Yeah.
We got a lot to
Got a lot
do.
to do. Yep.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate your support. And again, thank you so very much. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Bye.